She thought she was just a struggling artist in a big, brutal city. But after a messy breakup and one unforgettable one-night stand, she finds herself pregnant, and deeply, dangerously connected to a man who shouldn't exist. Chapter 1. I stood in front of my mailbox holding the latest rejection letter from the Prescott Artist Residency, and I swear it was mocking me. Bold serif font, unnecessarily polite language, and that signature line, "We regret to inform you." Yeah. I bet you do. I hate them, I muttered, folding the letter in half like it personally insulted my cat. They didn't even look at your portfolio, did they? Tessa asked, leaning over my shoulder with a coffee in one hand and a half-eaten croissant in the other. Nope, I said, slapping the envelope against my palm. Too edgy. Too chaotic. Not commercial enough. Apparently, real artists only paint depressing flowers or sad women in bathtubs now. Tessa smirked as she handed me the rest of the croissant. Eat carbs. Drink later. Sulk for 24 hours. You know the rules. I'm gonna sulk for 48 and dye my hair black, I said. It's already black, she said. I narrowed my eyes. Then I'll dye it blacker. That night, we ended up at a downtown bar that smelled like wood polish, whiskey, and low expectations. The lighting was warm and dim, the kind that made everyone look like a mysterious stranger with a tragic backstory. I wore my paint-stained denim jacket like armor. Tessa wore red lipstick like war paint. I'm buying the first round, Tessa said, sliding onto a bar stool. You look like a rejected cartoon character. Thanks, I said. I feel like one. She waved to the bartender. 2 shots of whiskey, and 1 lime wedge because we're responsible. That's when I noticed him, across the bar, in the corner booth, dark hair, stubble, black button-down shirt rolled up at the sleeves. He had the posture of someone used to power, but the eyes of someone who'd seen too much of it. He wasn't trying to be noticed, so of course, I noticed him. Who's broody in the corner? I asked. Tessa followed my gaze and raised a brow. Trouble. That's billionaire body language if I've ever seen it. I laughed. You just made that up. No, I didn't, she said. They always sit alone, drinking top-shelf stuff, looking like they have tragic pasts and secret security teams. He's probably married, I said, or divorced and emotionally unavailable, she said. Either way, you should say hi. I'm not a hi sayer, I said. Tonight you are, she said. Do it for your inner artist. She needs a win. The bartender dropped off our drinks. I downed mine in one gulp, stood up, and immediately regretted every life decision that led me to this moment. I walked over anyway. Is this seat taken? I asked. He looked up slowly, one brow raised. It is now, he said. His voice was low and smooth, like it belonged in movie trailers and expensive nightmares. Cool, I said, sliding into the booth. I'm Lily. He nodded once. Ethan. He didn't offer a handshake. Just studied me like I was a puzzle he hadn't decided to solve yet. You're not a serial killer, right? I asked. No, he said. Are you? Not yet, I said. He chuckled. Just once. Just enough for me to feel it in my ribs. We talked. About everything and nothing. I didn't ask what he did, and he didn't ask why I smelled faintly like turpentine and sadness. He bought me another drink. Then another. And then, I don't usually do this, I said. Neither do I, he said, but we did, and that's how I ended up tangled in hotel sheets with a man whose last name I didn't even know, sweaty, breathless, and thinking, maybe I needed this more than art school anyway. He kissed me on the shoulder and said nothing else. By the time I woke up the next morning, he was gone. I woke up to sunlight stabbing me in the eyes like it had a personal grudge. The hotel room was too nice for a one-night stand. The sheets were thick, the furniture was real wood, and the minibar had actual glass bottles instead of the sad little plastic ones. Whoever Ethan was, he didn't do cheap. Or maybe he just had a thing for luxury linens and tragic hookups. I sat up slowly, my body a mix of sore, satisfied, and slightly embarrassed. His side of the bed? Cold, his scent? Still lingering, something woodsy and expensive, like cedar, smoke, and midnight secrets. His presence? Gone. No note, no number. Just a perfectly made bed pillow where his head had been. Cool, I whispered. Very cool, Ethan. You mysterious, vanishing vampire of a man. I checked the bathroom. Empty. The closet. Empty. My dignity? Questionable. I pulled on my jeans and my paint-stained hoodie, tied my hair in a loose knot, and checked my phone. One text from Tessa. Tessa, you alive or buried in hotel carpet? Please reply with emoji. I sent back a skull, a flame, and a wolf. Just for fun, as I stepped out of the hotel room, I realized I hadn't even asked for his last name, not that it mattered. I was never going to see him again. That was the whole point, right? 3 days later, I was back in my tiny art studio trying to repaint the same stupid piece for the third time. My inspiration was gone. Evaporated. Like a tall, dark, Ethan-shaped smoke cloud, Tessa showed up with bagels and iced coffee like the angel she was. Still thinking about him? She asked. No, I said. She raised a brow. You're wearing eyeliner. On a Tuesday. I groaned. It's not about him. I can't stop thinking about how it felt. She leaned against the cluttered table, careful not to knock over a jar of brushes. The sex? No, I said. Well, yes. But also being wanted. Like really wanted. Like I was the only thing in the world for those few hours. Tessa nodded slowly. That's rare. I know, I said. That's what's messing me up. It wasn't just some random hookup. It felt big. Like it meant something. But I didn't even get his last name. You didn't check the hotel registry? She asked. I looked at her like she'd suggested necromancy. I'm not a stalker. She sipped her coffee. You painted his eyes on 3 different canvases. Okay, fine, I muttered. Mildly stalker adjacent. That night, I dreamed about him again, but this time, it wasn't just a dream. The next morning, I walked into the corner cafe to grab my usual cinnamon latte and almost dropped dead, there. At the back table. Reading something on his phone like he had nowhere better to be. Ethan, same tousled black hair. Same broad shoulders. Same impossible presence. I froze. My body went into fight or flirt mode, and honestly, I wasn't sure which button I hit. He looked up, our eyes met, he blinked once. Then slowly, stood up. Lily, he said. I crossed my arms. You ghosted me. He slid his phone into his coat pocket. No. I left before you woke up. That's not the same. Pretty close, I said. He tilted his head. You're right. I should have left a note. Yeah, I said. A note would have been nice. Maybe something poetic. Like, thanks for the night, sorry I'm emotionally unavailable, he smirked. I'm not emotionally unavailable. Really? I asked. I'm complicated, he said. Wow, I said. That's so much better. He stepped closer. Too close. Close enough that I could smell that same scent again, like wilderness and sin. Let me make it up to you, he said. I blinked. What? Dinner, he said. Tonight. I hesitated. Why? He looked at me like I was the only person in the world. Because I haven't stopped thinking about you. And I hate that I haven't. That should have been a red flag. That should have been my cue to run, but instead, I said, okay. One dinner. If you ghost me again, I'm setting your fancy car on fire. He chuckled. Fair. He handed me a small black card with nothing but a phone number and one word printed in silver foil. Ethan, no last name, no company name, no job title, just Ethan. And that's when it hit me. I had no idea who this man really was. The restaurant wasn't fancy, it was beyond fancy. It was the kind of place where the valet doesn't just take your car, he judges your entire existence based on it. I showed up in a leather jacket, black jeans, and boots that had definitely seen better days. My eyeliner was war-ready. My lipstick was aggressive, and yet somehow, I still felt underdressed walking through the front doors. The host smiled politely when I said reservation for Ethan. Like he already knew this was going to be one of those tables. They led me to a private room. Of course they did. Ethan was already there, seated at the head of a long table like he owned the whole damn building, which, honestly, wouldn't have shocked me. He stood as I walked in. You came, he said. I threatened to burn your car if I didn't, I said. He smiled slightly. And yet, you still look beautiful. I raised a brow. Flattery this early? You must really want something. He pulled out my chair and waited until I sat before sitting down. I want time with you. That's all. The waiter brought wine. I didn't ask what kind, it probably had a name like Blood of the Gods or something equally dramatic. So, I said, swirling the glass. Want to tell me what you actually do for a living? Or should I keep guessing? He leaned back, hands folded. Investments. Property. Family business. I narrowed my eyes. You say that like it's not sketchy at all. He chuckled. It's not illegal. Just complicated. Everything about you is complicated, I said. He looked at me for a moment, like he was deciding whether or not to tell me something real. Then he said, You're not wrong. We ordered food. Or, he ordered for both of us because apparently billionaires do that. I didn't protest, mostly because he had good taste and I was starving. Where did you go after that night? I asked. He didn't answer right away. Then he said, Somewhere I didn't want to be. But I had to. That sounds vague and suspicious, I said. I told you, he said, voice low. Complicated. You're giving me red flags, Ethan, I said. He looked at me dead on. I'm giving you honesty. We ate. We talked. And the whole time, I couldn't stop staring at his hands, strong, steady, scarred like he'd punched fate itself. Tell me something true, I said. He paused, setting his glass down. I can't stop thinking about you. That night. Your laugh. The way you didn't care who I was. I blinked. That's honest. You didn't flinch, he said. Most people flinch. Why would I flinch? I asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he leaned forward. His voice dropped. What if I told you there are things about me you wouldn't believe? Like what? I asked. He exhaled slowly, his eyes sharp and unreadable. Like the fact that my life doesn't work the way yours does. That sometimes, I have to disappear because the world isn't safe for people like me. I tilted my head. Are you in the mafia? He smiled. No, secret agent? No, cult? Definitely not. I leaned back. Then what? He looked me dead in the eye. You'll know when it's time. But I need you to trust me. I stared at him. That's a big ask from a man who ghosted me and refuses to share his last name. My last name wouldn't help you sleep at night, he said softly. Oh good, I said. Now I'm definitely not sleeping. Then, as if the tension wasn't already thick enough, the lights flickered. Just once. But Ethan's eyes, those storm gray eyes, flashed gold for a split second. I blinked. Okay. Did I just hallucinate that or? He stood quickly. I should take you home. You just got here, I said. He glanced toward the window, jaw clenched. Something's wrong. With the wine? I asked. No, he said. With the moon. Wait, I said, standing up so fast I nearly knocked my chair over. What does that even mean, something's wrong with the moon? Ethan tossed a few bills on the table, big ones, and grabbed my hand. I'll explain, he said. That's what people say right before they don't explain, I said. I promise, he said. But not here. He led me through the restaurant like he owned the place, and maybe he did. The hostess didn't even blink as we passed, and the valet had his car, his black-on-black luxury SUV, ready like it had been summoned from the depths of hell. He opened the door for me. You're not kidnapping me, right? I asked. I'd ask for your permission first, he said. I got in. Mistake? Maybe. But instincts are louder than logic, and mine weren't screaming yet. Once we were driving, I asked, so? Are we gonna talk about the weird lightning flash eye color moment? Or pretend that didn't happen? He didn't answer right away. The city blurred past us, neon lights, late-night joggers, the occasional drunk tourist taking selfies on the sidewalk. I told you I'm complicated, he said. Complicated as being divorced with 2 kids, I said. You're mysterious with potential superpowers. He chuckled, low and dry. You always this blunt? Yes, I said. And also mildly freaked out. He took a turn off the main road. We were heading toward the hills now, away from the streetlights, away from people. Okay, now I am freaked out, I said. I'm not going to hurt you, he said. That's what every villain says right before they do, I said. He sighed. You can get out if you want. I won't stop you. I looked at the road, at the trees blurring past, then at him. The way his hands gripped the wheel. Steady. Focused. Controlled, but not calm. No, I said. Let's ride this out. I want answers. He pulled into a private drive, gates opened on their own, of course, and parked in front of what looked like a modern fortress built out of stone and secrets. I stepped out of the car and immediately felt it. The wind shifted, the air hummed. What is this place? I asked. My house, he said. Of course it is, I muttered. Giant murder castle in the woods. Classic. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Inside, the place was all dark wood and concrete, fireplaces, and floor-to-ceiling windows. Minimalist. Stark. Like someone had money but no comfort. He poured me a glass of water, not wine, not bourbon, water. That's when I really got nervous. You're about to tell me something insane. Aren't you? I asked. He nodded once. I want to show you something. But you have to promise not to run. I make no such promises, I said. He took off his jacket. Rolled up his sleeves. Turned toward the window where the full moon was rising over the trees like it was on cue. Then he said, Lily. I'm not like other people. That better not be a line, I said. His eyes flashed gold again, brighter this time. Not a reflection. Not a trick, real. And then he said the words that cracked my entire sense of reality. I'm not human. Not entirely. I stared at him. Okay, I said slowly. Define not entirely. He stepped into the moonlight, and the shadows seemed to cling to him like they knew him. Like they were waiting for permission. You ever wonder why I feel different? He asked. Why I left that morning without a goodbye. Why I tried to stay away. I swallowed. Because you're bad at communication? Because it's safer for you that way, he said. But I can't stay away from you anymore. Something about you pulls me in. And that's dangerous. Dangerous how? I asked. He held my gaze, then, very quietly, he said, because the wolf in me doesn't want to let you go. There are a lot of moments in life that make you question your sanity. Finding out your almost boyfriend is a billionaire, mildly stressful. Finding out he's also a werewolf, that one hits different. I stared at Ethan like I was trying to blink myself into an alternate reality. You're joking, I said. You're actually messing with me, right? This is some elaborate rich guy prank? He didn't smile. Didn't blink, his voice was calm. I wish I were. I took 2 slow steps back. Okay, just to be super clear, I said. When you say wolf, do you mean metaphorical, like I'm a lone wolf, baby? Or do you mean fur, teeth, full moon, howling at the sky kind of situation? The second one, he said. Of course, I muttered. He didn't look like a monster. He looked like a man, a very attractive one, which honestly made this harder to process. Monsters weren't supposed to be hot. It felt unfair. I should leave, I said, turning toward the door. I won't stop you, he said softly. I froze. That was the second time he'd said that tonight. I don't know what to think, I whispered. Then think about this, he said. If I wanted to hurt you, I already would've. I wouldn't have waited. I wouldn't have disappeared after that night. I turned back. You left to protect me? Yes, he said. You ghosted me like a bad Tinder date, I said. His jaw tightened. Because I couldn't explain this over text, Lily. I couldn't risk you finding out the wrong way. Well, congrats, I said. This way isn't much better. The room fell quiet. A low crackle from the fireplace. The wind outside. My heart pounding like it was trying to break out of my chest and file a complaint. Then I said it. Show me. He frowned. Are you sure? No, I said. But I've already made one very bad life choice tonight, might as well commit. He stepped into the moonlight again. I expected something dramatic, claws, snarling, a horror movie moment. But it wasn't like that. It was slow, like watching something ancient waking up. His bones cracked, not painfully, just differently. His hands shifted. His shoulders broadened. His eyes burned gold, and then his face changed, not grotesque, not monstrous, just more wild. More animal. More beautiful, in a terrifying way. Then, just as quickly, it was over. Not a full transformation, just a glimpse. He stood there, breathing hard, still half human, half wolf. I didn't scream, I didn't run. I sat down, very carefully, on his ridiculously expensive leather couch. "Well," I said, my voice high and unsteady. "That's not something you see every day." He knelt in front of me, his voice gentle. "Are you okay?" "Define okay," I said. "Like, emotionally? Mentally? Spiritually? Because I think I'm currently hosting an internal breakdown." "I'm sorry," he whispered. "You should be," I said. "You couldn't have maybe started with, 'Hi, I'm Ethan, mild werewolf, love expensive wine and not mauling people?'" He smiled, just a little. "You're handling this better than most." "Is that a compliment?" I asked. "It's admiration," he said. I stared at him. "So, what now?" "That depends on you," he said. "You can leave. Pretend this never happened. Or you can stay, ask questions, and I'll tell you the truth." I looked at him, at the firelight dancing across his not quite human features. And then I said, "I have questions." "So," I said, sitting cross-legged on Ethan's fancy couch like it was a therapy session. "You're a werewolf." He nodded. "Yes." "Cool," I said, then immediately shook my head. "Nope. Not cool." I don't know why I said that. He leaned against the fireplace, arms folded. "It's a lot to take in." "Understatement of the century," I said. "Okay. First question. Do you eat people?" He laughed softly. "No. Absolutely not." "Okay, good," I said. Second question. Do you want to eat people?" He smiled. "Only when they cut in line at the coffee shop." "That's fair," I said. Third question. When did this happen to you?" "I was born this way," he said. I blinked. "Like Lady Gaga?" He laughed again, and I felt the tension in the room ease just a little. "My family has been like this for generations," he said. "It's not a curse. It's blood." "So your mom and dad are wolves too?" I asked. "My father was," he said. "My mother was human." "Was?" I asked. "She died when I was 17, he said quietly. "I'm sorry," I said. He nodded once. "It was hard. But that's part of the reason I'm careful now. I've seen what happens when people find out what we are." "You mean they freak out?" I asked. He looked at me. "I mean they try to kill us." "Oh," I said, "yeah. That made my coffee shop problems look very small, very fast." "So you're in hiding?" I asked. "In a way," he said. "I live on the edge of both worlds. Business keeps me visible. But the real me, the wolf part, that stays buried. And yet, here I am," I said. "Sitting on your couch, learning about fur and fangs like this is a paranormal TED Talk." "You're handling this better than I expected," he said. "I think I'm still in shock," I said. "Would you like tea?" He asked suddenly. I blinked. "What?" "Tea," he said. "You look like you need something warm to hold." "Wow," I said. "That's so specific and emotionally intelligent, it's actually terrifying." He stood, walked into the sleek, shadowy kitchen, and put on a kettle. It was weirdly domestic, so, I said, following him. "Do you, like, turn on every full moon or only when you're mad or?" He pulled down 2 mugs. "Full moons, yes. But with training, I can control it. Mostly." "Mostly?" I asked. He looked at me. "Stress. Pain. Rage. Sometimes it slips. So basically, it's like PMS but with claws," I said. He chuckled. "Something like that." The tea steeped while I stared at the giant windows and the forest outside. It was beautiful. And eerie. Like it knew secrets, he handed me a mug. Chamomile. No strings, no lies. I took a sip. Okay. So next question. Why me? What do you mean? He asked, why did you come back? I said. Why not just stay away and keep your supernatural drama to yourself? He met my eyes. Because you calmed the part of me that never rests. Because when I'm with you, the wolf is quiet. Okay, whoa. I set the tea down before I dropped it. That might be the most intense compliment I've ever received, I said. It's the truth, he said. I paced the room, suddenly anxious. Okay. So you're a werewolf. You have enemies. You've got an entire double life. And now I'm. What? Your girlfriend? You could be, he said. I was kidding, I said quickly. He smiled. I wasn't. I swallowed. Look. I like you. You're hot, mysterious, rich. Fur curious. But this is a lot. I know, he said gently. And you can walk away at any time. But if you stay, I'll protect you. I'll never lie to you again. Big promises, I said. I mean every word, he said, and for some reason, I believed him. That's when the phone on the wall buzzed. Loud. Sharp. Urgent. Ethan's expression changed instantly, his body tensed, like a wolf hearing a twig snap in the woods. He walked over, answered with a single word. Yes? A voice came through. I couldn't hear all of it, but I caught one phrase. They found her. Ethan's eyes shot to me. Who found me? I asked. He didn't answer right away. Then he said, it's not just werewolves who live in the dark. Okay, I said, setting my tea down slowly. Let's rewind. Someone found me? What does that even mean? Found me how? I'm not in hiding. I've been very, publicly broke. Ethan's jaw tightened. He looked like he wanted to punch a wall but was restraining himself because, well, his walls probably cost more than my entire college tuition. It means they've been looking for you, he said. Who's they? I asked. He exhaled, sharp. Wolves. But not my kind. I blinked. There are different kinds? He nodded. Just like humans. Some want peace. Some want power. And some want blood. That's a delightful buffet of options, I muttered. And why, exactly, would angry werewolves care about me? He walked to the massive window, the forest stretching endlessly beyond it. Because you're connected to one of them, he said. Maybe without knowing it. Connected how? I asked. He turned, his face serious. Do you know anything about your biological father? I froze. That hit a little too close, I mean. No, I said slowly. My mom always said he left before I was born. No name. No photos. Just, gone. Ethan nodded like he'd expected that answer. That's why they found you. You're telling me my dad was, what? A werewolf mobster? I asked. Not a mobster, he said. But he wasn't human. My brain short-circuited. You're joking, I said. I wish I was, he murmured. I started pacing. Okay. So let's play a fun game called How Much of My Life Was a Lie? Because right now I'm thinking. All of it. Your mother likely kept it from you to protect you, he said. She didn't even leave me a note. I shouted. I thought I was just unlucky in the dad department, not part of a supernatural bloodline. I know this is overwhelming, he said gently. Oh no, I said, pacing harder. Overwhelming was when I overdraft my checking account. This is insanity with fur. He didn't argue, he just let me vent. Which, annoyingly, made me like him even more. I finally dropped onto the couch and stared at the ceiling. So what now? I'm suddenly this werewolf heiress or something? Do I get a crown? More like a target, he said. Awesome, I said. This night keeps getting better. He sat beside me, close but not too close. There's more. Of course there is, I said. Hit me with it. Your bloodline, he said. It matters. A lot. You're not just the daughter of a rogue wolf. You're descended from one of the oldest packs. The kind that carries power. I stared at him. So I'm a werewolf Disney princess? He almost smiled. If Disney princesses were hunted by rival packs and occasionally had glowing eyes? Yes. Well, I've always said I wanted a little sparkle in my life, I muttered. He reached out, his hand brushing mine. Lily. They'll come for you. But they won't get to you. I won't let them. I looked at him. You keep saying that like I'm not currently a 5'5" anxiety tornado with zero combat skills. You're more than you think, he said, yeah? And what happens if I am like you? I asked. Do I grow fur and join a pack? Or do I just keep running? That's your choice, he said. But you need to know, your transformation might already be starting. My stomach flipped. Wait. What? I said. What do you mean starting? Stronger senses? Mood swings? Weird dreams? He asked. I blinked. I mean, I thought that was just the caffeine and my messed up sleep schedule. It's not, he said. The bloodline is waking up. You're changing, whether you like it or not. I stood, my legs shaky. I need air. He followed as I walked onto the balcony. The cold hit me instantly, sharp and clean. The forest below was dark and silent. You should have told me earlier, I whispered. I didn't want to scare you away, he said. You should have trusted me, I said. I do now, he murmured. I looked up at the sky. The moon was full and bright, and for the first time I felt it. Something inside me pulled toward it, not in a romantic way. In a magnetic, bone-deep way. Oh God, I whispered. This is real. Ethan stepped beside me. You're not alone. I feel very alone, I said. You're not, he said again, firmer this time. Then a howl echoed from the trees below. Not Ethan, something else, something wild and close. He grabbed my arm. Get inside. Why? I asked, heart pounding. Because they just crossed the border, he said. And they're not here to talk. Get inside, Ethan repeated, his tone darker than I'd ever heard. I didn't argue. That howl had flipped some kind of ancient switch in my spine. Every instinct screamed danger. I sprinted back into the house just as Ethan slammed the balcony doors shut. He hit something on the wall, a black panel lit up with red security runes that honestly looked like the tech version of witchcraft. What the hell is that? I asked, breathless. Wards, he said. Magic-based security. Excuse me, magic? I asked. Later, he said. Right now? We survive. A second howl rose, closer this time. Less distant movie soundtrack, more they were in your backyard. Ethan's eyes flashed gold. Literally. Like a switch flipped behind them, he took a step toward the window, shoulders squared. They're testing me. Who are they? I asked. A rogue pack, he said. Bloodbound to your father's enemies. I thought they were scattered. I was wrong. Well, that's comforting, I said. What do they want, me? Or just a fight? Both, he said. That's when the glass shattered, a blur of fur and muscle crashed through the side window with a sound like a bomb went off. I screamed and dove behind the couch. Heart jackhammering. Ethan didn't flinch. He moved. Fast. Animal fast. 1 second, he was human. The next, his shirt ripped clean off, muscles stretched, bones popped, and fur exploded from his skin like wildfire. He was huge, not like horror movie monster huge. No. This was sleek, deadly, alpha energy in wolf form. Black and silver fur. Massive claws. Gold eyes locked on the intruder.